Jackson Podcast.
What's good? What's good? What's good with the family? Make sure my mic plugged in. My mic sound nice. Check one, check two. How my mic sound? Y'all tell me in the comment section. Uh, I've been tapped into Carmelo his whole career. I remember when he won the championship in college at Syracuse. That was probably one of the most dominant college players I ever seen in my life outside of, the Tar Heels or a Duke player. I want to talk about, some of the people that they don't acknowledge as GOATs. And Carmelo is one of them. To me, Carmelo, Allen Iverson, and Tracy McGrady is some of the best players ever, but they don't get they just due. None of them won championships, but they was dominant in their own right. This Hall of Fame speech has been getting a lot of controversy. I seen Tyreek Nasheed and a few people speaking about him praising his Puerto Rican heritage on his father's side. I got something to say about that. I also seen a tweet from Lauren LaRosa. I'm gonna read it to y'all before we get to the speech. And the tweet says, "Not gonna lie, it's kind of messed up that Carmelo Anthony didn't at least mention Lala in his Hall of Fame speech. Together or not, I think she deserves a mention, a thank you. I went back and listened. I swore he did because it only makes sense, but he didn't. I'm tripping for feeling like a thank you for holding it down was deserved. Women got the right to feel the way that they want to feel. They'd seen their relationship in one way, but she wasn't present at the speech. One, the day before she was on Casanet live stream. You got more important things to do. And I'm not trying to bash Lala because all I know from Lala is smiles and good energy and good vibrations and decent acting. Being a radio host and all of that MTV show, I remember Lala just being a special individual in her own right, in her own creative space. So I'm not trying to bash her or nothing though, but people see relationships in one way and don't know the reality of it. But public perception makes people feel like they have the right to speak on something. Lauren LaRosa, I like what you've done with the Breakfast Club. You speak well. You come prepared to work and everything, though. But I think that that might have been a wrong one that time to be speaking on. That ain't something you need to be speaking on, dog. So we get ready to get into the Hall of Fame speech. I'm trying to find what was so controversial about it because, I listen to Mello on 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. He be standing on business. I know that people has been, identifying with FBA, Foundation of Black Americans, and tapping into their, you know, indigenous roots to America. And from all we know that Carmelo has represented Baltimore, New York City. You know what I'm saying? He played in the Olympics, winning Olympic medals, representing the United States. Our perception of him was that he was one of us from the streets. But let me get into it. Let's see what's so controversial about this or what got people talking about it. Let's go.
Pardon, pardon my language, man, but damn, excuse me, pardon, sorry. Tonight, I don't just step into the Hall of Fame. I carry with me the echoes of every voice that ever told me I couldn't. I walk with the shadows of every alley, every cracked court, every empty plate. I stand for the dreamers, the doubted, the dismissed, for every soul still trapped in the places I broke free from Red Hook to Myrtle Avenue. We didn't grow up with guarantees. We grew up with grit. We didn't have much, but we had dreams. And if you were lucky, you had someone telling you not to give up on them. But more often, what we heard was, that ain't for you. Don't aim too high. Mellow, stay in your lane. Well, I had to build a new road. I had to write a different ending. See, when you grow up in the shadows, you either get swallowed by them or you learn how to shine away. To every kid watching, I want you to hear me loud. You are not your zip code. You are not your last name. You are not your setbacks. You are your vision. You are your work ethic. You are your will. You are the quiet whisper inside you that says, I know there's more for me in this life. Hold on to that voice. It will be tested. The dogs is barking. Dogs is barking. The dogs is barking. Yeah. The dogs is barking. Yeah. Yeah. They would tell you it's foolish. They would laugh at your belief. But let me tell you, they laughed at me too. To my father, here's where the tears come. We good. To my father, Carmelo, Idiate, Puerto Rican. You left this world too soon, but you never left me. Your name is my name. Your spirit walks with me in every step I take. You were a poet, an activist, a fighter. You taught me without even knowing that words matter, that vision matters. Even in your absence, you gave me strength. In the silence, you gave me purpose. And though I didn't get to grow with you, I grew because of you. You gave me the first example of what it means to carry fire and still speak with grace. Your blood runs in mine. Your dream lives through me. This Hall of Fame jacket that I received, I'm not wearing it tonight. I wear it for the both of us. To my sister, Michelle Anthony, you have been my protector, my voice of reason, my anchor in every storm. In this world, sometimes you just need one person to see you before anyone else does. You were that person. You believed in me when I didn't even know how to believe in myself. You loved me without conditions, and you held this family together with strength that no stat sheet can measure. You are a Hall of Fame in every sense of the word, sis. This honor is yours too. To Puerto Rico, my blood, my soul, my heart. I carry the flag in my heart. I carry the island in my veins. When I wore those colors on my chest, I wasn't just playing basketball. I was honoring the heritage. I was honoring my father. I was honoring every Puerto Rican who's ever had to fight twice as hard to get as far. Puerto Rico, you gave me fire, you gave me soul, you gave me home. We are proud, we are powerful, we are present. This Hall of Fame moment belongs to the island, it belongs to us. To my brothers, Justin Wolf, my real ones, my Aelites, who held me down when the world turned its back. When the critics got loud, you got louder with your love. You reminded me who I was. Every text, every call, every laugh.
You know, listening to this and seeing it go viral in the black community for what he said about Puerto Rico and stuff, I don't find a problem with that because later on in life, I'm older than Carmelo Anthony at the end of the day. But later on in life, once you had all your experiences and you lived your life, if you don't know your lineage and your heritage, you go searching for your roots and you find out what your roots is and you start highlighting and believing in your roots and stuff. You may have come from the trenches in the gutter, but you don't identify with that. You know, he did initially start this conversation because I don't even, Red Hook, I think that's in Brooklyn, Myrtle Ave. That's the first thing. He gave a shout out to the neighborhood before he gave a shout out to his mom, his son, his family, the NB, whatever he gave a shout out to. And he gave a motivational speech a little bit after that. He said, "You're not your zip code, you're not your last name, and you're not your setbacks. You your vision, your work ethic, and your will." So I don't find nothing wrong with him talking about Puerto Rico, just being honest with y'all. I want to know y'all perception in the comment section. Let's further the discussion though of why that's so offensive to people in the black community. Why are people even offended in the first place? I'm just interested in wanting to know why. Because when Nipsey Hussle started researching his lineage and his history and he found out he was Eritrean and he started speaking about it, nobody bashed him for that. You know, 21 Savage or whatever, they said he was coming over here or whatever, and they locked him up saying he didn't have his card and all type of stuff, paperwork right. But people ain't bashing him for that. You know, we grow up in these communities, they erase our history. They try to erase our lineage. And it's just not black people that identify as black. It's white people also that identify as white. When you don't know your history and stuff and you find out about it, you become proud about it. And salute to Carmelo Anthony for finding out who he is, his father's background and everything. And, you know, salute to that. You know, I ain't bitter about nothing or nobody finding out and learning more about themselves because I believe specifically in knowledge itself is probably the most powerful knowledge that you can obtain. Let's get back to it.
We made it, champ. To every father, and this is important, every man listening, you are more than your mistakes. You are more than what this world has to reduce you to. Being present, being real, being vulnerable, that's strength. Raising children in this world is revolutionary. I didn't just want to be a basketball player. I wanted to be a model of redemption, of accountability, of love. My kids saved me. They gave me a reason to move past ego, past noise, past criticism. They reminded me that legacy isn't what you leave behind, it's what you lift up. To every woman who's held us together, I owe everything to the strength of women. To the women who raised us, who loved us through our mistakes, who believed in us before the world saw our potential. I stand here because of you. To the single mothers pulling double shifts, to the grandmothers who stepped in when fathers couldn't, to the sisters who became second mothers, you are the real MVPs.
I want to stop it because he didn't acknowledge Lala by name, but he basically acknowledged women in totality. But I know that people want to be spoke about individually. You know, I could tell because I've read Carmelo Anthony's book. I reacted to Carmelo Anthony's book on my channel. He is well spoken. I can tell that he has practiced speaking and he may have had somebody write this or he may have got Chat GPT to write it or you know, he may just be a good writer at the end of the day. But his book was phenomenal also. His evolution outside of basketball is also good too. I know y'all might be thinking that I'm hugging his, you know, pausables right now, but at the end of the day, I like where this going. This is a hell of a speech, to be honest with you. Let's go. Let's continue to listen.
You've held us up when the world tried to tear us down. You've spoken life into us when we were silent. And you've shown us what it means to fight with grace and lead with love. To Mama Love, to my mother, Mary Anthony, you taught me that love she crying. You taught me that love is action, that sacrifice is quiet, that faith is louder than fear. To every woman watching tonight, this moment is yours too. You are not behind us. You're not beside us. You're the reason we rise. You don't just shape homes, you shape legacies. My mother was the first one to show me what sacrifice looks like. No spotlight, no praise, just love in its purest form. You're the reason I'm standing here, Ma. The sacrifices you made, the tears you held back, the strength you showed. I felt it every time I laced up my sneakers. You are my hero. And now, as a man, I see how powerful that was. That was Hall of Fame worthy too. I've been cheered, criticized. They called me a scorer who couldn't win. They said I was too loyal, and they said I wasn't loyal enough. But they didn't know what it feels like to carry the weight of whole cities, to lace up your sneakers while the world is dissecting your soul. They never saw the lonely nights, the aching knees, the silent battles, but I kept going. I kept shooting, and I kept believing. Not because I had all the answers, but because I had a why. My why was bigger than me. My why was every kid in the hood who ever thought greatness wasn't for them. My why was my son, watching to see if his father would fold or fight. To my real ones, my real friends, Kenny, Munch, Draper, Bay, Tyler, you weren't just part of this journey. You were my foundation. When the cameras was off, when the critics was loud, when the weight was heavy, you was there. You reminded me who I was when the world tried to rewrite my story. You gave me laughter in the darkest seasons. You gave me silence when I needed peace. You gave me honesty, love, loyalty when the world gave me noise. This honor belongs to us because without your presence, your truth, your belief, I don't get here. Y'all never chase the spotlight, but I need the world to know you were the light behind mine. To Syracuse, 1 year, 1 championship, 1 spark that changed everything. You gave me my first shot at belief on a national stage, and I gave you my whole heart. I know everybody waiting on this next one. To the Denver Nuggets, in the city of Denver, you believed in me first. You gave me your keys as a 19-year-old kid. You let me grow, fall, fly, and become the man standing here today. Denver was where I learned the weight of the league, when I learned the value of sacrifice and the beauty of team. To every fan who filled the Pepsi Center, thank you. To the Mile High City, you'll always be a part of my foundation. To the New York Knicks, in the city of New York, the mecca of basketball, you gave me more than a jersey. You gave me an identity. From the lights of Madison Square Garden to the heartbeat of every borough, I felt that energy. I carried it. I became it. New York is not for the faint of heart. It's pressure, it's expectation, but it's also pride, power, and poetry in motion. You show me what it means to carry a city on your back with grace, with grit, and with love.
I think we got enough. I ain't gonna play the whole speech. Um, Carmelo Anthony, you know, you deserve a round of applause. You one hell of a player. Salute. Salute. Real talk. I don't find no fault in nothing he said. I feel like everything that he said and did in this speech was intentional. Um, do y'all think one of these places that he spoke about at the end is going to give him a statue? And do y'all think that he deserves a statue? I think that Syracuse should give Carmelo Anthony a statue. That championship year, he showed that he was a baller. I feel like going to Denver was a mistake, and if he would have went to the Pistons, good God Almighty, if he would have got that opportunity to go to the Heat, because that team was actually built for Carmelo, D Wade, and LeBron James, but he stayed. And he made a mistake doing that, to me, to be honest, on winning the championship. Because he still would have got the finances and everything in Miami and the experience, but he stayed in New York. And I feel like that was a mistake to his legacy, but he got the money. He got the money. Real talk. Uh, One hell of a player, one hell of a speech. I appreciate y'all. Let's further the discussion in the comment section about some basketball topics, man. I want to hear y'all thoughts about some sports, man. I'm up at this thing, man. I appreciate y'all. Peace, love, plenty, abundance. Make sure you go get you some money, and I'm gone. Chill.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.